Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to The Fool's Apprentice. Today, I have a lovely guest on, and I've been really excited about this interview for a little bit of time. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. Hmm. My name is Marisa, Mauricio Tovar. The creator behind Mari in the Sky. I'm a full-time artist, independent deck creator, self-publish, illustrate, and write all my work. Currently have a Kickstarter for my second deck, and I'm just really excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I think there's been a lot of chatter in the tarot community about your oracle deck, and there has been with a gentle tarot. So, it's really exciting to have you on, especially right now since you do have your Kickstarter going. So right now you're in Mexico City, is that correct?
Yeah, yep. I've been here for a little while, mainly taking care of some health stuff, so it's
But you live in Alaska.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And so I'm just very curious as to how. Oh, can you hear my dog in the background? They're doing a delivery of her dog food. So uh, she sounds like a little vicious animal, but she's a 5-month-old Rottweiler,
Uh,
so that might go a little bit. So I'm really curious as to how you ended up learning about the tarot or hearing about tarot in general.
yeah. Well, I was first exposed to tarot back in college.
Hmm.
Um, College for me was 2004 to 2009,
So like,
so
I'm so.
still a while ago. And I really didn't fully engage with tarot until 2010. I was living in Seattle. I had 3 jobs, and, I quit all of them, and I got rid of my things, and I was about to hitchhike down the West Coast by myself, and I
You were
had
gonna
friends.
you
Huh?
were gonna hitchhike.
Yeah, I did it.
You
Um,
actually hitch. Oh my gosh, you're
yeah, and
adventurous.
I ended up buying a bicycle, like, halfway down, and then so I was riding the bike.
I think that's amazing.
But before this trip, I was having a little, like, going away party with my friends, and 2 of my friends, um, very dear friends of mine, one has since then passed away, and, she actually helped, with the original guidebook. She helped edit the first guidebook.
I think you say you give her some acknowledgement in the book. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she actually her and a friend of ours gave me my first tarot reading, like, before leaving on this big life-changing adventure, and I just I had never had a tarot reading before. I'd never experienced, like, that kind of energy where it's like the cards speak and they just so tuned in, and every single card that was pulled was so on point. It's like I just feel like I've always been in touch with my intuition,
Hmm.
like, part of my daily life, but I had never been in touch with it in, like, a physical card form. So it was like and then being able to share that with someone, so there was a totally, um, just doors wide open, experience for me. So 2010, yeah.
And did you end up picking up your own deck soon after, or did you wait some time, or have you ever since?
No, actually, I I practice with cards came back into my life around 2012, but
Okay.
that with Jamie Sands medicine cards, and that was with people that I was working on a farm, and we would pull cards every day from that deck. So that was the first where there was, like, a daily kind of practice in my life, and I just really appreciate it. Like, it was just like it. from then on, I feel like that's when I really had a more of a relationship with like working with cards. But I didn't have my own deck. I always had exposure through friends and I have friends that had a lot of different kinds of decks, oracle decks, tarot decks, but I never connected with one that was like, "Oh, I need to own this deck." Like, I would love this so much. It needs to be with me, you know? And I think that's why I created the gentle tarots because I couldn't, um, I never found one that didn't have anything that wasn't off-putting.
Well, I would say that's very unique because most people, when they find the tarot and all of a sudden they have a moment with it, it inspires them to buy a deck. Sometimes they buy the perfect deck for themselves right away. Most times they don't. They do the search and they end up with a ton of decks. Like I ended up with a ton of decks within my first year. But
Yeah.
I know that there are some creators that, like you, didn't find a deck that kind of fit or that they couldn't see themselves in, and they created their own deck. So it sounds like that's pretty much your story, except you didn't get any decks.
Yeah, well, after I did, like, then my collection, like, blew up. It was just
Yeah.
I mean, entering the tarot community and, like, just, like, connecting with so many indie deck creators, like, in 2020, I feel like it was just, like, we still have, but it was, like, we just kind of all met, all of a sudden, and, like, there was this really sweet private Facebook group with deck creators, so it was just, like, I love supporting and I love how expansive decks have become and just like it's so unique to have different creators' perspectives and
I will tell you, I love tarot decks. I've said this many times. They're like little museums in your home. And I find it absolutely fascinating how the Fool card, uh, how so many different people can view it in very different ways and present it in very unique ways, but you can absolutely see that it's the Fool card. It doesn't even have to have the title on it. So
yeah.
that's one thing that I'm always really fascinated about with artists is, how their minds work and how they're able to put it on paper and then within a tarot card. Were
Yeah.
there any tarot decks that kind of resonated with you a little bit at all? Or was it
Um,
oracle decks?
well, I feel um well, my partner and I started to have a daily practice. Like in the evening, we both pull cards. So we go to my little shelf of decks and like pick what decks we wanted to use that night.
Mhm.
And I found myself, this might sound silly, but I found myself going often to this small, and I'm so sorry, I don't know the name,
It's all
but
right.
it's like this square little cat deck. It's
Uh-huh.
so cute, but it's like really, it was always on point, but I feel like it was just like, it was good enough for like the evening. Like, I didn't need anything super intense before bed, but it was strong. So
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you what the name of that deck is, but I feel like I ended up pulling that tarot deck more than others. But yeah, in terms of uh also Oracle decks, I don't know if you know, well, Reclaim by yeah, that
She's having a Kickstarter. I think it's still on or just finished. I ordered it. I don't have it.
yeah,
I didn't feel like it was right for me, but the more I saw it, the more I was like, I'm gonna give
yeah.
it a try. So
It's I backed it also. I'm so excited for the new version. So that's been a favorite. And then the chicken transition oracle.
we can transition.
Yes,
I've
my
never heard of it.
I wish everyone did because you don't have to be in the chickens for this deck. Like honestly, the writing in Oracle. She just had a Kickstarter, so I'm sure the pre-orders are open. But this has also been like the top deck in my household. Like the writing in this deck is so beautiful and powerful, and I don't know. There's
I
something
would
about
have
this.
to look it up. I've
Like
never heard of it.
when I leave home, like I have this deck and like my deck, and that's it. But also, yeah, I also just also want to shout out to decks made by my friend Kara Simons. Like all of her work is just so beautiful, and so supportive and connected, and
Very nice.
but
So now I think the process must be a little bit different. And correct me if I'm wrong. Learning the tarot and then utilize it for yourself and for readings, I think is one skill. But then all of a sudden, having to learn it and at a deeper level to create a deck, I think is much more intense and having to
Mhm.
do a lot more research. Would that be correct?
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
so,
Yeah.
and what was really different for you when it came to starting to learn, let's say, like, what's your favorite card?
I feel like more than anything else, the tower.
The
Probably.
Tower? Ooh, that's a good one. I've actually had several people talk about how that's their favorite card. So the
Mhm.
Tower, learning the Tower as, the reading for yourself or others, how was that different for you in trying to create a tower with what you were learning about it?
Wait, what was the question?
Okay,
Yes.
I can be a little complicated. So learning the tower for yourself is,
Mhm.
I think, one thing, but learning to comprehend it in a way where you want to create your own tower card,
Yeah,
how was that different for you?
yeah. Well, I think similar with all of the cards,
Hmm.
uh, I felt like I really went into that, like, relearning process
Mm-hmm.
with, kind of looking for, like, the essence and, like, the main questions of the card, but also at the same time being super open to what feels good in my body when I think of that card. Whether or not it applied the same kind of structure, or whether it went in some other direction a little bit. Like, I think it was also, I created the Gentle Tarot in a very off-grid location that didn't have any reception, no phone, no internet. It was 2 months. I was working out in the field, so I didn't there was no way for me to check anything. There was no way, like, my partner sent me some printout PDFs that I would use to study, but for the most part, I feel like that not having that kind of ability to just go online, or,
Hmm.
it gave me some freedom to just, like, follow what I was feeling. Um, so yeah, I think it's a combination, but I would say for this creation process, it felt more like maybe 40/60, like 40 really honing in on what is the archetypal basis, and then
The
60%
tradition of, yeah.
allowing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how artists make it their own. They take like base idea of what the card traditionally means, and then
Yeah.
they have their own perspective on it. Um, I think that's very interesting, um, be- that you were in a very isolated place, because if you had the internet and all the research, it could have gotten a little convoluted and a little maybe overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Were there any cards that were particularly challenging to create for you?
Well, yeah, actually, um, I think initially some of the tougher cards, like the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Thunder, but ultimately, like, I would probably say the 5 of Stones was pretty pretty, because it there was just so much in there.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that before we started recording.
And I'm like, that was one of the toughest cards in the tarot. Yeah.
Yeah, the Five of Pentacles, I think a lot of people read it as a very, very negative card, and I don't necessarily see it 100% negative. It's more like a 50-50 for me. Uh,
Mhm,
but I do want to talk about it in a little while.
mhm.
Were there any cards that you were just like it flowed so easy to
Yeah.
comprehend and create, and you're like, oh my god, that was wonderful! I can't believe I got
Yeah.
it done.
Actually, that happened with the very first card that I illustrated, which was the moon.
The
And
moon.
Yeah, so I'd been wanting to start this project for years, and then it was like, "Okay, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna try," but it's scary, but then it's like the moon just came out, and it gave me that reassurance that, like, this project was ready, like, it
Oh,
just
good.
uh, yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Now, how long did it take you from the beginning to the end to create the deck and like edits are done, like it's done. I'm sending it to the printers.
Mhm. I have, like, a really bad memory, so I'm not with time.
It's just general. I
Yeah, I know for sure it took me 3 months to illustrate it, which
okay.
really, really, really fast. And I had a full-time job too after those 2 remote months, so it was really intense, but, I feel like it took me another couple months maybe to finish the guidebook and to design everything, so probably a total of 5 months.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty good, I think. I
Yeah.
hear people say it takes them years, but
Yeah.
it just shows that you were really ready.
Yeah, but my friend Fire has taken years. So that's been different with my friend.
Now, I'd like to know a little bit about your artistic background. Did you go to school or is your skill innate?
Um, I come from a family of artists. I didn't
Mhm.
study art. My mom is a painter. My brother is a professional. He's incredible. And so I feel like I just grew up around art. There was always art supplies, art book, anatomy books, like people making art, and that's just how I expressed myself as a child. I think a lot of us do. So yeah, it's self-taught and
So no formal education, just, you learning how to
I mean,
develop skill.
definitely dabbled in intro art, in college or art in high school, but um yeah.
Now, how did you now this style that because your style is very distinct. The colors, how you create the images. Um, how long like did that was that art style pretty much set when you were a child, or did it kind of slowly develop into what it looks like today?
No, really I feel like it took like I had never I'd never created digitally until 2019.
Uh-huh.
Really soon. That was like a little bit of time before I started the Gentle Tarot. I didn't have much experience with creating digitally, so I use an iPad with an Apple Pencil, Procreate. Um, and I feel like I started to, I mean, I used to use watercolor and color pencil mostly.
Uh-huh.
Mm. And I feel like I kind of translated those kind of textures digitally. Um, but yeah, I feel like it wasn't until 2019 that the style in working in a digital um medium really helped with, like, I guess, bring about the style that I have now. Because I've also there's something special about it because I can work in like working in layers is like I don't know, it's just so expansive and I feel like I can imagine things and then put them down, whereas if it was you know, analog paper, then
Yeah.
it yeah.
Um, so when you created your first card and you saw that, because I mean, your cards have very rich colors and very bold lines and uh like were those the kind of colors that you had imagined seeing, or did you play with color before it kind of, you know, came out?
I feel
They're
like
very, very unique. I will say they're very earthy, you
they
know.
thank you. I think I've always kind of had this color palette, like since I was a child. Like color combinations and like the bright, like this bright kind of teal. Like it's just, I feel like that is something that I've probably always had. Yeah.
And were what challenges did you face, and like what like how did you figure out who to go to for advice, who to
Yeah.
contact to get the deck created, and paper and boxes, and because that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. I think, um, I feel like I have, like, a lot of energy, like, I like challenges and I like figuring things out, so I feel like it kind of energized me, but
Yeah.
first reached out to a lot of deck creators when I first started. I had no idea. It's like, oh, like, figuring out that Kickstarter existed, you know? Um, and I'm not sure they want me to name their name, but one deck creator in specific
Yeah.
really, really kinda took me under her wing, and she, like, looked at my campaign before I launched and, like, gave me feedback and was super supportive and connected me with a printer. So yeah, I feel like I was really, really held and supported, and, I think that's, like, a big part of it, and I feel like so when I try to return that, like,
Yeah,
when people to me, I really do my best to be supportive in that way because it is a lot to learn. It's so much.
it is. I
It's
watched
so
Lisa. Are you familiar with Lisa Papez? Yeah, you are. You sent her a box. Um, she went through the journey talking about all the things that she had to do, and I was like, man, I don't know how y'all do it because I mean, well, just the cardstock alone is a lot to try to figure out.
Yeah, and I mean, formatting files to be print files, and I was living on this island that didn't have much internet, so it was like sending these big print files and like paying per gigabyte. It was just like totally insane. There's a lot. There's a lot. I've been wanting to make a video just about the deck creation process because there's so many questions about it.
I think that would be amazing. It would allow other people who are they feel overwhelmed by the idea, maybe give
Yeah.
them some encouragement, saying that it's possible. It's
Yes.
possible.
Yeah.
Um, so as I saw one of your video, I think it was this last video that you did. You talking about it's scary. Like you're gonna put it up on Kickstarter, and it's scary because is it gonna make? Is it not gonna make? You know. So you hit the button for it to start, and what were you thinking at that time?
Honestly, I think, like, I'm not sure I had breakfast yet, so I was a little, like, out of it. It just feels like kind of an out of body experience in general because it's just like your heart is pumping and you just kinda surrendering, and, it's pretty emotional. And it's the first time I did it alone. The past couple of times I was with my partner, so I was like, it's just different. It's like and I love how Lisa and Peggy do their live launch
Oh
party.
yeah,
So
yeah.
wish to do that because like, then you're kind of in community and,
Mhm. The
um
excitement, you feel the excitement. Did you cry when you, put it live?
Um,
Or did you cry when it
I didn't
made?
I didn't cry this time. I feel like I was just totally blown away, like, how fast it was funded and just my Patreon, like, I don't know, there's just so much, like, even though I was alone, I didn't feel alone, so it just felt
Oh,
really yeah, I'm not sure, if I cried on the outside, but it definitely on the inside, it was just, like, the whole
now
day was emotional.
the Gentle Tarot, were you surprised with how it took off?
Yeah. No, for sure. I
Pe People love that deck. People love it.
Yeah. No, and I mean, that first Kickstarter, I mean, I was crossing fingers. I was like, I just need 200 backers, and it was like, whoa, like, and I had an office job at the time, so I was like in the office, and I'm like, what is
Did that first did the success of that Kickstarter allow you to stop working for a while?
Yeah, no, 2021, I left the full-time job, and I've been full-time this since then. So
That's amazing.
it's amazing, but it's hard. It's stressful. It's hard
I
to not stable income, and I'm just now really working on different modalities that help me with the stress because I don't
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we should talk after our interview. Now, fulfilling the gentle tarot, fulfilling it,
Yeah.
like placing the order and then getting it home because I've seen your videos with the boxes piled up everywhere. Did you have people helping you, or was it a one woman show?
No. I definitely had people. I had my partner, and the very first Kickstarter was my partner and my mom and her boyfriend.
Mm.
That was fun. And like in this tiny, like small house, and like people like sweating. Like my mom's boyfriend was sweating while he was cutting the tape for us because like we didn't have a tape cutter back. And
Oh,
we have a tape dispenser that you
that is hilarious.
yeah, but no, and the last one, I did it was my partner and then a couple of friends of ours, and we were just putting in night and day shifts.
Exhausting.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun, and I think because I have so many add-ons and different options, it really makes it complicated. So it just
Yeah,
like
you're very generous with your add-ons. I think people really appreciate it.
thanks.
Well, and so I want to tell you, I had seen the Gentle Tarot around for a while, but I didn't have a spark to get it,
Mhm.
and a lot of it was because it was just a lot of female energy, and
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't know, and I kept seeing it. And then finally, I saw Annette from Project Refine Life. You've seen my video. I made a video. And so I'm like, oh, she made a really good case for it. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give it a try. And it really hit a chord with me.
Yeah.
I love that deck. It really, you know, the name is perfect because I went to describe it on the video that I made. And I went, it's such a gentle deck. And I'm like, well, that's the name of it. Because it feels like you're being cared for and held and walk through whatever journey that you're walking through. Um, I just so when I found out that you were doing my fire friend, I was all jazzed up about
Yeah.
it. That is like super excited. So I did watch your last video where you talked about it a little bit. I didn't look at any other the ending where you did some of the walkthrough because I want to be surprised when I
Yeah.
do a walkthrough. Um, But, you said that's been going on for a while because there were gaps you felt within the tarot. Can you talk about those gaps a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, when I was creating the Gentle Tarot and really studying each card, there were just a lot of moments where I felt like, either the archetype that I was studying or the kind of like perspective that I was going towards something, it felt like it was opening these other doors for like deeper, just really needing like support. Or like not just support, but like also those deeper questions. Like, I just need to dig deeper. Like it felt like the tarot felt like a really, really good like starting point.
Okay.
But and I'm sure it's influenced by like me being on my own healing journey and
Mhm.
needing a lot more specific, like a lot more specific, yeah, like perspectives
Okay.
and questions. So yeah, so I started noting those down, and I didn't know it would be my friend Fire, but I'm excited that it
How did
is.
you come up with the name, My Friend Fire? I think that's a very interesting name.
Well, I was working on the deck for years, and then it really kicked in, and I've been working, like, creating a lot of cards all of a sudden, and I just felt like the energy of the deck felt fiery, like, it felt
Mm.
like, especially because it felt like support during, like, Tower or Ten of Wands fiery moments. It's like but also, like, in response to those type of situations or struggles, really tuning into, like, it's the like, this fire within that, I just wanted to, like, support, and, So I knew that the element would be fire. I didn't know the name would be my friend fire, and it went through different versions with my Patreon, and I don't even remember what the other ones were anymore. Um, I just I think I was just sitting in front of my fire. I have a fireplace in my art studio. I think I was just sitting there stoking the fire, and it just kinda came. It's like my friend fire because it's also inviting, you know? It's like
Mhm.
fire can be scary,
Yes.
but, like, understanding that it's here to help and that it has something to say and that, like, it's important for us to also befriend our own fire because without it, what are we doing, you know? Like
Yeah. So
yeah.
when it came to creating, you have there, if I'm not mistaken, 52 cards in the deck, correct?
Yeah, and hopefully 2 extra ones if we reach our stretch.
Yes, that would be great. And did you have an idea like I want to have 52 cards, or you didn't
Mm.
know how many cards there were going to be and you were just going to see where it took you?
Yeah, so actually this was pretty cool. What I did was I had my pocket deck
Okay.
one
Which is your
night.
favorite deck?
It's not every day. But, I had it on the table one night in my art studio, and I'm like, "How many cards is I don't know how many cards were I don't know." And then I just, like, sat in front of the deck, and I just, like, grabbed an amount that felt like what I felt right, and then I counted them, and it was 52, and it was, like, pretty perfect because with 5 suits and 10 each and then having the 1 on each side, it was like yeah, but that's how it wa I just picked it up.
That's amazing. Like it was meant to be.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good, and it might change, like I said, if there needs to be more cards, I'll definitely add them, but
Well, like an expansion deck.
well, I'm just saying I'm never super tied to any kind of structure, like, with anything
Okay.
in my life, like, I can't even follow recipes when I cook, but, yeah, I'm just saying it's not set nothing is set in stone, but that's what feels good right now.
Now, you did mention that you will be creating a book like this
Yeah.
uh, within the next year or so. Is that
Ye
correct?
yeah.
Have you started it yet? Or is it too early on and you got all this that's going on with the Kickstarter?
No, it's definitely too early, but, everything kinda starts internally for a while, so I feel like it has started, but not physically yet,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, I'm honestly almost, like, more excited for writing the full guidebook
Yeah.
than yeah, so I'm gonna have to go at a pace that feels good, but I would like to write it as soon as possible.
Now, Will, I'm going to tell you, this is my favorite guidebook. And I'm not exaggerating because you're here. On my channel, I talk about how amazing this deck is, and I encourage everybody to get it. Um, the way this is, structured and the information that you have in here is, I think, spectacular.
Mhm.
Um, one, I really appreciate that you have colored images a
Mhm.
lot. I mean, just like the cards, I like the size of it. I can put it in my backpack. It's not, it's just not bulky to carry around. I love that you have like these mantras in the beginning of each one. So, like in the morning, sometimes I'm rushing or, I'm really tired at the end of the day. And like I'm not in a place where I want to read it or can read it, but the mantra gives me everything that I need.
Mhm.
So, what kind of inspired the idea of having this mantra for each card?
Um, I didn't even I didn't even remember what inspired it, but, I feel like I wanted something to just kinda capture the
Mhm.
card best as it could. Um,
I think it does a really good job in doing that,
yeah,
uh, because you read that and then you read the rest of it, and you could see it within the mantra.
thanks, and, some of them were written, like, during the initial writing, some of them were
Mhm.
written after, um, but yeah, I think it's almost like each little section is its own, like, essence, and I feel like having that in the in the very beginning
I think like I said, I think this is great. Now, what I love, some of the things that I really, I'm old, so I'm putting these cheap glasses on.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I really like is that you really describe the symbols, and we're going to go with the Five of Pentacles because that's one that I really want to talk about. You also, you actually even educate within the cards, like bringing up the sea turtles and the plastic. What are they called? The little plastic things that they end up eating, kills them.
Well,
Uh,
plastic bags too.
it's at the bags. Okay, I was thinking of the plastic that you put like the Cokes in, the 6 pack.
Mhm.
But I didn't know that they were eating them because they thought they were jellyfish.
Mhm.
That kind of like surprised me. So that was
Mhm.
something that I learned that I didn't know. And I just
Mhm.
found that really fascinating that, you have those little tidbits. And what it does is it really gets you to contemplate, because in watching you and listening to you and the book, the environment is very, very important to you and your connection to the environment. And not only like Earth, but all living beings that, take space in this earth. And so when I'm reading it, it makes me pause and think about my environment and the impact that as a human being I have on it, and or can have on it, positive or negative. Was that intentional for you to be able to make those connections for people?
Um, I wouldn't say that it was like something I thought about it beforehand. I think in the art symbolism section, those were like the most free, right? Just whatever wanted to come out in those, and
Okay.
so yeah, it wasn't like anything that I was like thinking, like really planning.
Well, I think
But
that shows then how, just for you, how important it is, because it showed up in your artwork, you
mhm,
know. So, and I like that within the meanings there are questions, so I can journal uh,
mhm.
on them. So I think that's great. Um, I think this. So the guidebook for the Oracle, will it be similar, like the similar kind of structure?
Yeah, definitely, for
Oh my
sure,
God.
for sure.
Okay. Definitely will be getting the book. I'm excited about that. Now, when you fit, what do you think will be next for you? Do you actually get commissions because you've gotten known for the Gentle Tarot?
Yeah, I do get commissions. Um, I'm not sure I'm gonna do like full on deck commissions
Mm-hmm.
more, but I do get like individual like pieces, and that actually been really helpful because like it helps with income, but it's not that often, and but no. I think in terms of what next, like my friend Fire is just the first companion oracle deck for the Gentle Tarot, so I'm gonna I would really love to have one for each element.
Oh
So
my, that would
yeah,
be so cool.
yeah, because it's been quite the experience like connecting with fire energy, and I already feel like I have these other ones like already starting. So yeah, that feels good.
Now, if somebody wanted to commission some artwork from you, how would they contact you?
Through my email, it's the same email as the contact page on my website.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll make sure that all your media is in the description so everybody can reach out to you.
Okay.
Now, I understand. Oh, I have it right here. My linen deck. I keep it out. I keep it out. This side is like all my big deal decks, and so I keep it there because it's these. Like I have all my uh uh my Bohemian Gothic and my Fairy Tale Tarot, my Savvy Soul. I just love that one. Um, so this one is out of print or is going out of print. The linen edition.
Oh, the book is
Yeah, you
going.
have two versions. Do you not like the new one is going to be a better cardstock?
No, so The My Friend Fire the My Friend Fire Linen edition is upgrading card stock.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I still have Linen Edition Gentle Tarot, and that'll be the same edition that's out
Okay,
available.
wonderful. I love this. This is the perfect size for me.
Oh,
Uh,
that
yeah, yeah, I can make bigger spreads with it. To be honest, I don't make big spreads, but I've tried it with this one because they're a really good size for me.
yeah.
Do you mind sharing like your Kickstarter? What's on your Kickstarter, what your stretch goals are?
Sure. Let me see if I can remember. Um, so the Kickstarter is for two versions of My Friend Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Full size version that's gonna be the same finish as the Gentle Tarot full size, and then a linen edition. I wrote luxe linen because it does have that upgrade. Um, and then there's like all of Gentle Tarot add-ons, bundles, different combinations, all tons of add-ons and also some new add-ons. Like I'll be designing and hopefully sharing really soon a new reading cloth design for My Friend Fire. And I'm
Okay.
really because I've been like really wanting the color. It's like the color of this kind of darker yellow.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Oh,
and
that
I'm
would be beautiful.
really excited about the new spread cloth. Um, and yeah, the stretch goals right now, the next one is to be able to have gold stamping on the card backs for both of the decks.
I saw that on the video and I was like, oh my God, that is so pretty.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Honestly, I feel like the pocket deck is my favorite just because it has the gold stamping on the back. And also because it's travel friendly, but so yeah, that's our next stretch goal at 80,000. At 90,000, I'm also really excited because I'm gonna be if we reach the goal, I'd like to print some small gentle tarot guidebooks, like physical guidebooks to
Oh, yes, I
go.
did see that.
Yeah, so like any pledge or add-on that has any version of the gentle tarot would automatically get a free little color booklet, which makes me happy because I feel like that was one lesson I learned the hard way. It's like those decks, like they probably should have come with a little booklet, physical booklet, but it was like just thinking about saving resources and I don't know. I thought the PDF would be like, and then this was coming out, but it just, anyway, so I'm excited to have the little booklet. And then we have another stretch goal for the 2 additional cards in My Friend Fire. And then printing the My Friend Fire little booklets in color.
Do you know what the extra two cards will be if it makes it, or you will create them?
I know what one of them is.
One, okay.
Yes, and I'm really excited about it. It's a borderless card, so, like, all of the cards have borders except for
Mhm.
one that showed up, and it makes me excited because it almost reminds me of, like, you know how in a playing card deck there's the 2 joker cards?
Yeah.
And so, like, not
Uh,
having borders, it just, like, it makes it extra special, so I
yeah.
don't know what the second one is, but the first one is almost it's close to a final draft. Um, so yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about something that I was very touched by and very impressed by. Is your dedication to the environment and donating 5% of your proceeds to various organizations. Why? Why is the like? What inspires you to do that? Why is that such a value for you in your life?
I honestly, it feels like, when with the first Kickstarter, with the first Gentle Tarot Kickstarter that really gave me an overabundance of anything I had ever expected,
Hmm.
I felt like and people from all over the world, like, found the Kickstarter, and I just felt like first was, like, giving me all of this energy, and I feel like just being part of the web, it just, like, I naturally, like, if I want to also give, like, so it's fluid and it's important to me, and it's important like, I've never been able to do that. Like, I've never been able to donate thousands of dollars, but it feels like I just there's definitely things that are important to me, for the environment and also for, people affected by imperialist regimes and capitalism, and
Mhm.
it's all it's all part of like this I don't know, like in Spanish like lucha, but how do you say it in English? Like it's like
Don't don't know how to say that in
I
English.
wanna say struggle because it's like it's more I feel like it can have a more positive like we're all in it together, like we're all
Yeah,
on this earth together.
we're all in the
And
same boat.
yeah, and I feel like it's just really important to me to give to give back and support.
How important or did your culture influence the decks?
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting question because I I didn't really think about it or notice it until after the deck was created, and then
Mhm,
people started pointing it out. But I
mhm.
feel like it's just m- me, being myself. And I feel like my culture, which I am a person of indigenous descent from a first generation immigrant family, and I feel like my existence has always been one of um displacement, but like also resilience and like
Mhm.
finding a place within a society that doesn't want to give me a place,
Five
you
of
know?
Pentacles.
Um, so yeah, I feel like, um, and the kind of spirituality that I have is, it's inseparable from my work and from, and I don't, yeah, I feel like it kind of just comes out, um, like, not in a I don't know, I don't actually know how people take it in, but I feel like it's not something that's, like, mm, super overt or I don't know.
Eh, No, I do feel that there's some culture in here. I think the nature, the colors that you choose, I think play a part in that. I will tell you that I do feel that this is a very spiritual deck. That's why I think, I mean, because the cards just feel like you can tap into like a very sacred space. Like all of these, they're just very like they're just really, really like wonderful, wonderful cards. Oh, I wanted to talk about the backs. Talk to how why did you choose this image for your back?
Well, that's the shell from the death card,
Hmm.
and, I love it's also one of my favorite cards. I
Okay.
love I love it so much just because it's just, like, it's like it's telling it's, like, it's asking you, like, what, um how I mean, I don't know what I'm saying, but
It's okay.
yeah,
You know, but
it just felt like the energy of the deck. Like, if I had to put the energy of the deck in one symbol, like, I just
mhm,
really I love the message of the death card. And then with the figure from Temperance, it's also like, doing it in a very patient and balanced way, you know?
very nice. Very nice. Well, those are all my questions.
Oh my god.
Do you have is there anything that I've missed that you would like to be able to share with anybody or with everybody that's watching?
That's always a hard question, but
We've talked a lot.
yeah, yeah, we talked a lot. I don't know. I just feel really just so thankful to be part of this community. I feel just I would love to keep creating and I can only do that with all the support that I'm receiving, and it's just like I feel so blessed and held, and I want to I just I guess the way I see it, it's like the love and energy that I'm putting into this whatever new work is like I want that to be like my offering to like give back to the community for everything that I'm receiving. And
I
um,
think that comes across. I will tell you. So I saw Annette's video, and so I went to look for you, and I found you, and I was watching one of your videos, and I was so very touched by your authenticity, how genuine you were, and I don't know, you just had this aura that really touched me. I literally, soon as I was done, I opened my laptop and I joined your Patreon because I wanted to support you in the work that you were doing. And then learning that, and then afterwards, I did some more research, went to your website, and I found out that you were giving to the environment. And I was just like, oh, yeah, definitely a big fan. So, thank you so much for coming on. This was an absolute pleasure for me. I'm so excited for my friend Fire and anything else that comes up for you in the future. So thank you so much.
thanks for having me. Can I do one little shout out?
Of course you can.
Emmy Brady is coming out with another edition of the Brady Tarot. Just
Oh,
wanted
is she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's launching November 15th. Uh,
Okay.
so I don't know, I'm super excited, but I mean, there's so many campaigns I'm excited about. But I just want to say that one, and I try to share about others in my Kickstarter updates. But
That's very generous of you. But yeah, I that's actually one that I have not gotten as well. So maybe with the Kickstarter, it'd be an opportunity for me to get.
yeah, it's
All right.
exciting.
Well, thank you so very much. All right, everybody. My name is Benny, and this is The Fool's Apprentice. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, guys.